Good morning, guys. So we currently need to do a quick recap. I want to look at the monthly close. So let me just open my. Today it's Lucozade. It's not sparkling water. I need a little bit of a oomph. Not feeling too great. With me here is Peter as well. He's in the back. Peter, say hello.
Hi.
He's there at the back as well. He's planning his next big trade as well. So he's going to retire off that trade. Aren't you, Peter? He's going to go big. He's going to go big with the next one. I know it. I can see it. He's got this little grin on his face. He's going to get it. Right, guys. Real quick, just as a friendly reminder, I think you guys in the question section, just let me know where you guys are at portfolio-wise. If there's anything or any angle I need to kind of look at for you or discuss or whatever the case might be, send that through so that I can tailor the content as is needed. And then hopefully Bitbat is going to be, he signed up last week, is our latest new lifetime member. He's somewhere in here. Hello to you. Just as a quick reminder, the Discord works very simple. If you're watching the videos, they're all listed in the tactics stream. So there's all the videos, and then there's a couple of guys in the group lovingly timestamp the videos for you guys as well after they've gone live. So you can always use that to speed up if you've got a busy day. Remember the questions channels where you can drop in questions, and then what I'll do is I'll tailor the content for those specific questions as such. And then, make sure to read up on the trade guide. It's how you will use the buddy indicator as well. I'm going to touch on that today as well. And then the private charts with our swing trades, Bitcoin swing trades, where this is the trade we're currently holding in on. So just to do a quick chart update, this is how I was looking at the market, explaining that we were still kangaroo-ish. We were just chopping up and down. We have not really become bearish trending, in the sense from this trade point. But the idea is that this is the retrace for 2. That does look really strong. This is the beginning of another 5-wave impulse that's going to bring Bitcoin down to the hundreds, or maybe even into the 90s, and that's what I'm hoping for. So we are holding our swing shorts for that reason. So we went, this is 113,500, which is roughly where the sell zone was, 113,297. So from that area is where I'm holding my shorts, and I want to try and ride this thing down to $89,000 at BTC. So that is the swing short play, and this is the channel where you will find the updates on the swing shorts. Okay, and then if there's any other scalps or anything like that, this will also be thrown into this channel just as a reminder for you guys, so you'll be able to pick them up as they come through, the different ones. Also take note of the trade rules. One thing that I kind of want to do is I want to differentiate between the rules and write this down for you guys as well, because mindset is key. Because we're on the weekly time frame, we're in a pivotal point in the market as well. We're sitting in a situation where we're moving from, uncertainty into maybe surety, into, okay, this thing's going up. We're back in that situation where we're in uncertainty. We have not necessarily picked at the top. There's the evidence and the hope is there, but until we break trend and establish a downwards trending market, which we don't have yet, it is fair to say that it's uncertain in the moment, and that's why mindset is so important, to make sure that you don't end up losing sight of what the TA is telling you as opposed to what fundamentals are telling you. And as it always is, guys, Bitcoin there fundamentally was still a great coin, just like it is fundamentally here, still a great coin. But fundamental, just because the fundamentals are good doesn't mean it's a good buy. That's why we spend a lot of time on technical analysis and risk management, because it is about the cost to opportunity that we need to think of. What is the cost to taking an opportunity to try and make some money with Bitcoin? And that's it. And the same with the altcoins. It's a cost to opportunity. That's what technical analysis is trying to point out. And also the risk to that opportunity. So it's not just the cost, but the risk. And the risks are very high at the moment because we are starting to turn the tide. As I normally say, the easiest way for you to track to see whether we're in an uptrend is which side of the candles are bigger. And up till this point, when we moved it was big blue candles, small red candles, big blue candles, small red candles. Now the red candles are getting bigger. Their bodies are getting bigger. The blue candles' bodies are getting smaller. That's telling you that there's a change. Big blue candles, big red candles. Now the power or the trend direction is shifting, and that's something that people tend to now use fundamentals to give themselves like a lullaby, or what's it, a bedtime story, saying that it's okay, things are going to change. It isn't going to necessarily change. Fundamentals are going to remain the same. It's still going to be a great coin to be in. It's still going to be great, everything around that, but the momentum isn't there. For all the greatness, there's no momentum at the moment. So that's the key here. Now, taking this up to the monthly time frame, this is now where we need to now think about the way that we go about our narratives. Let's say I'm wrong. What we won't do is we will probably not close Bitcoin below $101,000. So if I'm bullish, the argument is we can wick through these levels, but in a month's time from now, price still needs to be above 100,000. Then we still basically just range bound, but these are the lows that we could use to maybe have range bound, break out of the range and go to more upside. Maybe Bitcoin does want to go to 150 as people are hoping. Who's to say? I'm not there to say that it's not possible. I don't want to move into that direction and say that it's not possible, but from where it's at, it's not probable. Probability is low. And the same then from the bearish point of view. If I want to trap, the market wants to trap as many people in on the wrong side, is build a base, go to the upside, take me out of my short, just to do the whole move again. That could also be. So from the monthly point of view, in order for me to say trend and not kangaroo, we actually need to have two levels clearly defined. And that is 126, 150, which is the all-time high, as acting as resistance at this moment. And then we have 101.45, the liquidation lows from October, which ended up being a downtober, as support. And these two levels, once broken, will define whether we're going to be trending up or down. And we can use previous fractals as a good example. I mean, there you had monthly. There you had your doji. Okay. What do you want to see? Once you close above it, there's more bullish upside. And sometimes the move is going to run away from you, but the market is kind of always recycles big liquidity moves. So even if this then ends up being bearish, think about this. Say you're holding on to hope. What if this goes down? We will recycle and come back to turn this into either then establish our base, our floor. Like I said, I doubt that we're going to go to these lows come this bear market, if in fact there's going to be one. But who's to say? So we'll have to wait and see how this happens. But these are the two critical levels that will establish a trend. Now, with this said, kangaroo market, maybe I must just, Peter, are you picking up the noise from the wheat eaters outside? Peter is not there. Are you guys picking up the noise from the gardening services? Not seeing any comments popping through that it's an issue. I'll just turn the mic down a bit and move it closer to my face. Maybe then like this. Then I know it's not going to interfere too much. Then it's just going to bothering me. They're going to be bothering me. Okay, so there we have it. So 2 critical levels there. Back to the weekly time frame. Peter, do you pick up the brush cutters or weed eater in the background?
No.
Okay, there's no issues. Okay, so now you have it. Now, when we look at this on the weekly time frame, just to help with that narrative again, you can see closing, 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 closing. This is, in fact, 115 is a major resistance. So from a pure zoomed in point of view, if I want to shake the bears out of the market, get me out of my short, the way that would look is the market will bounce and go to this area here. Get me out of my short. The way that would look is the market. So even if this then ends up being... I'm just going to remove you. Your audio is pushing through. Okay, no background noises. Then I'm happy. Then there's no... It's just irritating me. So this is going to be your shakeout range. So be open to the potential or the possibility that it's going to happen, but don't bank on it. Meaning, I'm not going to short when I'm going to find another short setup. I am not going to enter the market short with Rudo, meaning because he says it could still go there. Because what if it doesn't? Because in the end of the day, you know what happens when you find a good bottom or top? Everybody always wants that second retest, and the market never gives it to you, purely because now the momentum is shifting and there's strength in one direction. The retraces aren't going to overlap that much. So that is what I am worried about, okay, concerned about. So making sure that I get my positioning in here is key. And then obviously major mindset at this stage, don't take profit. Don't take profit on the short. Keep on saying that to myself. I was too greedy, too foolish, too stupid. As age goes by, another 2 years went by, I've grown wiser. From 2023 me to where I'm at right now. I mean, if I took my 30 Bitcoin long that I had there and I just held it all the way, oh, come on. You're an idiot. And that's the reality. So I'm going to be way more patient with my swing trades as a rule, and understand that that's where the real money is made. And then if we move into times of turmoil and chop, what I will do is I'll hedge just to cover the cost. Okay. So I'm going to be patient with the shorts, let them run. Okay. Not foolish, meaning I'm not going to let the short go all the way there, 150, and then liquidate myself. I'm going to be patient with my short, let it run. And then if we start grinding sideways, I will hedge the position just to cover the cost. Okay. That's it. That's the swings, the way I'm going to be looking at the swing trade. Okay, so we have a danger zone there. We know where it comes from. We can see that the fact that there could be a potential trap happening in there. And then we've got point and figure chart that is also giving us those areas, 114, 118, as potential zones where the market could go towards if it wanted to trick us. And you can see what I mean by truncated, the point and figure. You see these lines are all perfectly drawn. Now a few days gone by and they're all skewed because the data from TradingView has been deleted. They truncate the data and then it skews the picture. So when you use point and figure, you basically have a month worth of info. That's legit. Otherwise, the chart's going to start looking different. Okay, so just take note of that, guys. Okay, and that's it. So those are the areas. And then, as the rule goes, I mean, we were grinding sideways over the weekend, but what did we do? We broke the 45 angle as a trend. So now we're back at the situation where we're trending bearish. Thank you for the bearish trend. Okay, and any time we move into this area here, we could look to add to our shorts. Because you want to load up on what is the potential of a trend. So point the figure says we're trending bearish. I know I just said it's still choppy, but I mean, we could load up, and eventually we start breaking through. This thing is going to run. And that's what you want to try and do. This is the beginning. So we've got, and this is how I'm visually thinking of this. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to take time for us to get to these levels. Okay, with this being still need to retrace. So we'll probably go test 108 again. It's going to make it hard. Or we potentially have done that already. Shallow retrace, who's to say? As soon as you start bringing in the candles on the 4-hour time frame, let me just go there real quick. Who's to say that that isn't the 2 already? So there you have it, guys. So there's the play. This is the idea. And it's 15 minutes. I don't think I need to talk it further through to death. I think you guys got the idea. You know what I'm looking for. We know what we want to try and hit with a short. Okay. Being a Monday, let's keep it light. Let's see if there's anything in the chat. I didn't check this. I haven't checked the chat. AF is busy as always. That's a real man really with a plan there. Gonna hustle himself into a millionaire status pretty soon. Let's quickly see what he's saying here. Total market cap 3, weekly cup and handle, or am I dreaming? Let's quickly see. Weekly cup and handle. Nah, I won't say weekly cup and handle. I would say, if I'm going to be honest with you, the handle was there. That was the cup and handle. It's played out. So if that is what you're pointing at, yes, maybe that is the case, but not where we're at right now. Because the reason for that is, let me bring up the total market cap. Probably going to be one of these. There we go. The reason for this is, this would be total market cap 3. A cup and handle normally is the market selling off fast, building a base, testing that as a resistance, having hidden bearish divergence, playing out, but having strength by giving you more hidden bullish divergence for continuation. That's it. That's a cup and handle. It always plays out in that kind of sequence. So when I look at the chart, I want to see that. Where we're at right now is that playing out. Now, the rule with this is when you have a cup and handle, you take the depth of the cup. This is typically your measured move, and apply that to where the bottom is of the handle. And that normally signals the end of the move, where your TP needs to be. So if you identify a cup and handle, the argument is that from there to there is your TP, which means it's played out. And the fact that the RSI is also giving you signals that it's playing out is there. And we've had, in this instance, not a really big hidden bullish divergence there. And where we're at right now, you've got higher, higher, low, higher, higher, low. There's just harmony. It's basically building a triangle as such. And we could still maybe chop to the upside. Doesn't mean that the upside isn't there still. With Bitcoin grinding sideways, you're going to have more one-hit wonders, maybe getting a liquidity injection, like we've seen. But this is still the play for me because of the resistance there, and because of Bitcoin being where it's at, and because of the time analysis being where it's at. Okay. Time analysis for the benefit for those that are new. I'm talking about this. Okay. I'm using this as my Bible, guys. This is what guides me through the bottom. This is what's going to guide me again to the next bottom. And I'm going to treat this trend as if it's going to be the way it's going to be until it proves me wrong. Meaning I'm not going to have blind faith, but I'm going to take things level by level. And that's where we're at, guys. We're losing momentum. We're at the highs. It's over. It is what it is. Complacency is tricky because there's consistent bullish reasons. But if the market was bullish, why the hell is this looking like that? Just a simple question and simple observation as well, at that point. So, yeah, I'll look at it a little different than that for that reason. One thing to note as well, volume is sometimes tricky because it's open to your own personal interpretation, because you don't have all the volume of everything always. It's a tricky thing. But what you want to see is, as the market finds lows and holds onto a level, volume dissipates. That's also a good sign from the bottom of a cup. And as things go on higher, you want the volume to grow. That's healthy. But now we've made higher highs with diminishing volume. Not a lot, though. So I say, I'm not calling doomsday just yet for this, but yeah, it's just not there. And there was your evidence as well. High volume, higher high, diminishing volume. You could say, well, yes, in general, the volume is still relatively strong. Just a few spikes, a few outlier events there. But that was divergence. That is what divergence is in the end of the day. And yeah, and maybe you could find a way to draw it and say, well, this is then part of the cup and there's going to be a massive handle, which means if that is the case, your handle still needs to form. This is not the handle just yet. Your handle needs to form. So it will normally be a WXYZ kind of pattern, or complex choppy pattern. We've only made an A to a B. We still need to do a C minimum, which still suggests there's a retrace coming back before we're going to start pushing to the upside. Okay, so good observation, but that's how I would be looking at that. To be honest with you, I might be blind narrative to my trade. And I'm trying to look for bullish reasons. I promise you guys that. Purely, I'm looking for a way for this thing to fail so I can make money on that. I just haven't found anything just yet. Okay, that's that. Let's see what else we have. Yeah, that's that. Nothing else that I can pick up on right now. There you go, guys. You have a lovely week. If there's any questions, let me know. Keep an eye on the charts, because I'm going to. And be on standby, because there's going to be juicy trades. With the market being where it's at, that wick's going to get filled and some, guys, and it's going to be quick. So there's going to be juicy trades. Probably going to be around 109.40 days where I'm going to try and go short. Add to this to try and drive this thing. End of this week will probably be at 100. That will be nice. Okay. Have a great day. Cheers, guys.